Hey guys, it's Pick'em Commissioner Aaron Brenner, live from sunny yet chilly Arizona, here to convey the results of the 2016 Pick'em playoff standings. This is kind of a surprise video message, seeing as tonight's Monday Night Football game between the Lions and Cowboys is going to have a minimal effect on the final standings. So, surprise, we're going to put them out right now. I'll have the final official standings as far as a Word document released either tonight or tomorrow, but again, not a lot of change. We do have our final 16 players, and other than one little seating thing I'm going to go over, everything is set in stone. So again, I'm here in Arizona. It's sunny, it's chilly, therefore I'm wearing the proper attire for this announcement. I'm wearing my Oakley sunglasses, and then of course my official Pick'em Commissioner sweater. So I hope you enjoy that. As is tradition, in this annual video, I have no voice. I swear every season I'm sick when it's time to put out the playoff standings, so I am going to try to keep my speech short. But let's get right into it. We've got 16 players here. The players listed in black have a bye through to the actual playoffs, which begin with the NFL playoffs. And then the 10 people listed in red will have to pick Week 17 games, and the 6 best scores out of those 10 in Week 17 will move on to the playoffs to join these top 6 seeds. The number 1 overall seed, he actually would have been number 1 regardless of that crazy Bengals-Texans game on Christmas Eve. Jay Messer finished very strong, the champion in Wisconsin. He is 5 points ahead of anybody else in the league. So Jay, you're going to get your pick of the litter. You get to take this week off, and for those who don't know how the playoffs work, there's going to be 12 playoff players. There's 12 NFL playoff teams. You will select one team based on your seed. It's a draft, and so Jay will have his first pick in the draft of whoever he chooses, and then you keep that team throughout the remainder of the playoffs, and you get paid based on the final playoff result of that team. Number 2 seed, I'm so proud of you, babe. Lizzie Stevenson, champion in the Greenville division, the number 2 overall seed. She'll get the number 2 selection after Jay. Finished out strong, actually. 2 for 2 last night. Obviously benefited from the Texans win. And first girl ever to make the Pick'em playoffs. And she is joined by a couple others later on here. Lizzie, you might, I could see a playoff matchup possibly in your future against our good buddy Ricardo LeCompte. Rico, the champion of the Clemson division, at 178 points. We had a couple of people at 177 points, 1 point behind Rico, 2 behind Lizzie. And the number 4 seed out of the America division, Pete Rabita, changing up his status this year, changing up his philosophies this year as far as not picking as many upsets. So Uncle Pete making it through to the playoffs. At number 5, the defending champion, Andrew German, loses out the tiebreaker to Uncle Pete, which could be big because the 4-5 change could be significant, and yet Andrew gets the number 5 seed, and he'll have a chance to try and retain that trophy. And rounding out the playoff buys at number 6, the runner-up in America to Uncle Pete is Stephen Bradley, always a strong player in the regular season. He's like the Marty Schottenheimer of this league. So Steven also gets a top 6 bye. So Jay, Lizzie, Rico, Pete, Andrew, and Steven, you guys take a break in Week 17. You're through to the NFL playoffs. So who will this be the 6 that join them? It'll depend on the Week 17 results of these next 10 players. At the number 7 seed, the runner-up, in Wisconsin, runner-up to Jay Messer, we have Justin Fielkow. I think Justin was the number 3 seed last year. We'll see if Justin can have better results this season. The runner-up in Colorado was pretty much runner-up to Andrew wall-to-wall, Matt Harris at number 8. This is, you can see in the lower right-hand side here, you see the total point score. Pretty congested there. Jay really had some separation at number 1, but then behind him, I mean, Matt and Justin had the 7-8 seeds, as well as our number 9 seed, all at 175. Lizzie had 179, so 4 points separating number 2 from number 9. Very close competition there. At number 9, Justin Pettick, the second wild card out of the Wisconsin division. If the Bengals had won, he would have been the number 4 seed. Sorry, buddy. That Bengals-Texans game, man, it changed everything. So here's where we've got some or seeds. Currently at the number 10 seed if the Cowboys win tonight, but he'll be number 11 if the Lions win. Robbie Tinsley didn't quite get worst to first, but Robbie really struggled early on in the year and then came on strong. Probably one of the best players overall in the second half of the season. Robbie at 172 points, he'll be a 10 or 11 seed. Jordan Schelling is our wild card. He's actually currently number 11 in the standings, but he's the only person in the top 16 who's picked the Detroit Lions. So pending the results of tonight's game, he'll either be number 10 if the Lions win or number 12 if the Cowboys win. Either way, Jordan into the playoffs. Obviously a strong showing for the Wisconsin division. They led all divisions with 4 playoff players. The runner-up in Greenville, Elizabeth Jemison, another strong finisher the last couple of weeks. She'll be number 11 if the Cowboys win, number 12 if the Lions win. Either way, she is in. And me personally, I feel like, after the top couple of teams in the NFL playoffs, it could get wild because of all those quarterback injuries. So I think that 10, 11, 12, maybe even 13, 14 realm, if they're lucky enough to get through to the actual playoffs, and then maybe some of the higher seeds actually drop out, could be interesting this year. So, even if you have a low seed, don't lose hope. You could still find a way into some money. So Elizabeth Jemison was the runner-up in Greenville. A wild card, and our final wild card in the playoffs, Abigail Bowers at the number 13 seed. So we have 3 playoff players from Greenville, all girls, Lizzie, Elizabeth, and Abigail. So great job to you 3. So that does it for the wild cards. Now we have 1 champion and 2 division runners-up. And so I will say right now that David Brenner, you got screwed, Dad. You actually have 169 points, I think it was. But no, I'm sorry, 168. And you do have a higher score, Dad, than the number 15, 16 seeds. But the runners-up and champions of each division are guaranteed a playoff spot. And so the champion of the Midwest Division, Ryan Jaster. The Midwest Division was a cluster right up until the Bengals-Texans game. There were 4 different people that could have feasibly won the division at that time. So Jaster survives. He's the number 14 seed and just barely into the playoffs there. The only other player behind Rico in the Clemson division, just a bad year, guys. Cheslock, Shannon, Dan, Brandon, come on, guys. Falling out of the playoff race. Making it easy for Rico and Ted Phaeton at 167 points is the runner-up of the Clemson division. So Teddy into the playoffs. And our final player into the playoffs, and again, the Midwest division was so close right up until the end. Steve Schefter was in it till the end. Sarah Freistadt was in it till the end. Nate Bloomquist as well. But Mike Rosen succeeds as the number 16 seed. So if Papa Rosen, if you're able to have a good week 17 and make it into the actual playoffs, you'll be the number 12 seed. So you'll get whichever team is remaining. You won't actually get to make a pick, but you never know. That team might pan out for you. So there you have it. There's your 16 playoff players. I hope everybody enjoyed it this year. Just as a reminder, if you're still watching, we kept it pretty short this year, only 9 minutes on the video. The top 6 seeds, you get a break for week 17. If you are number 7 through 16, you get a break. I'm sorry, you don't get a break. You get to pick week 17 and the top 6 scores out of 10. You move on to the playoffs. If you didn't make the playoffs, please make your week 17 picks because we will hand out week 17 stud money and only the non-playoff players are eligible to get that $15. So that's going to do it. I can't believe my voice held up. Must mean I'm feeling better here and looking forward to covering the Fiesta Bowl. And I don't know, maybe I'll wear this sweater at the game. See if we can get a laugh out of Deshaun for that. So thanks so much for playing, everybody. Can't wait for one more week of this thing. A Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year to everybody.